Hi everyone, welcome back. So I'm not sure exactly how long this video is going to be. I don't know the title of what this video is going to be about because we've just received a survey, or I've just received a survey, and a few other people have as well, about The Division 2. This came from Ubisoft, and I wanted to take this survey with you guys, see what sort of questions we're getting, and see if there's anything we can learn about what's to come from these questions. So yeah, let's get into it. So first question. When was the last time you played Tom Clancy's The Division 2? A couple of months ago. Well, actually, I think I played yesterday. I played some Countdown yesterday. If you haven't been watching my recent videos, then I've been playing a lot of PvP recently. Mainly because I wanted to do a video on PvP, but I felt as though I needed to play it in order to kind of comment. But also because people have been saying that it's not all that bad. Although, from my experiences, there's some really broken stuff, but it's not as bad. It's not as bad as I thought it was. So yeah, that's my experience so far, but I have been playing it quite a bit recently. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your overall experience with the Division 2 game? 1 meaning that you did not like it at all, 10 meaning that you like it very much. Okay. Wow, that is a deep question. So the Division franchise to me is probably my favourite franchise, although it's close between The Division and Destiny, to be honest with you. I play The Division probably more than Destiny, but I feel like I always go back to Destiny, and I do that for The Division 2 as well, so I guess, I don't know, they're probably on the same for me. I don't think The Division 2 quite has done as much for me as The Division 1 did. Division 1 for me would probably be somewhere up between it's got to be 9 or 10 for me. Probably 9. It's hard for me to put 10 because I can't really put that on anything because it wasn't perfect. I'd probably put it as 9 because it's probably the first game that I played where I could literally only play that game. Like, I could devote my life to that game. That was the only game I wanted to play. It didn't matter what else was coming out. It was the only game I wanted to play. I haven't felt the same way about The Division 2, to be honest with you. I have played other games. More recently, I started playing that Multiverses game. Now, I never would have done that when I was playing the Division 1. I never would have went back and played, something like Multiverses or played any other games when I was playing the Division 1. It was kind of the only game I played. The Division 2 is a bit different. So, I'm probably going to give the Division 2 a 7. I would say the average is probably 5 or 6. I think for me the Division 2 is above average. I think it's got some really good elements, of course. It's got some elements I'm not happy with. I think that the most recent kind of manhunt changes we've got have been really good. I feel like the team that are working on the Division 2 now, if they weren't the team working on the Division 2 when it first came out, or they didn't have the freedom that they currently do, then that would explain why maybe the first year of the Division 2 and even the second year of the Division 2 didn't feel to me like the Division team that dealt with the Division 1. But this year, the most recent season that we've had, Season 9 and TU15, feels like we are almost back to where the Division 1 was in terms of direction. And so for me, I think this will improve over time. I think this 7 could easily hit an 8 by the end of this year. I don't think it's ever really going to hit a 9. I think we're going to need another Division game to compete with what the Division 1 did for me. So overall, it's above average for me, absolutely, and I still play it a lot, and I still always go back to it. It still has that draw for me. If I was playing the Division 2 and I'd never played the Division 1, I would still love the game, but this is where I would sit, right? I would sit at a 7 with that, and that's what I'm basing it on. It's easy for me to go to an 8 or 9 just because I love the franchise, but if I'm trying to be not biased towards it, then I guess I would sit with a 7, personally. So, moving on. What do you particularly like about Tom Clancy's The Division, and what do you particularly dislike about Tom Clancy's The Division? Wow. Okay, so I'm not really sure how do I put this into words. What do I dislike about The Division 2? Well, The Division, I guess. I would talk about The Division 2 here. PvP is awful, pretty much. It's been, as you all know, when Red Storm, they dealt with the year 1, then they kind of moved on. Obviously, they're working on Heartland now, and that's why the PvP has been given no updates since the first year, basically. And it's been kind of left in ruins, and now Massive are just trying to balance it. That's about it. With that as well, I would say the Dark Zones. For me, the Dark Zones again are just not. They're just not what the Division 1 did. They don't offer the same. And I don't like the fact that they're all split up and stuff. I really don't like that at all. The best part for Division 2 is probably the open world. The living open world, right? For me, the living open world is something I wish the Division 1 had. The Division 2 does it really well. I love the open world in the Division 2. It's better personally for me than the Division 1. It doesn't have the same atmosphere as Division 1. Well, obviously Division 1 with the snow and stuff, but if you aside from that, the way you can interact with the world is way better than the Division 1. And that's probably why for the new Division Resurgence mobile game, they've gone with that living open world as well, because I think it's great. And with that, you've got all your activities. I'll just keep that within living open world. Control points, for example, are my favourite kind of activity to do. The other thing that I really like about the Division 2 is PVE. I think the PVE element of the Division 2 is better than the Division 1. I'm not going to say that the missions are more memorable or anything like that, really, but I do think that the way that we interact with NPCs, the variety and stuff is better than the Division 1. I'm just trying to think of anything else at the moment off the top of my head. I don't want this video to be too long, of course. Alright, so dislikes, again, I'm going to say specializations. I don't like the way specializations work in this game. I prefer how they worked in the Division 1 when we had I can't remember what they were called, but I preferred how they worked in the Division 1. It felt like they were a bit unbalanced in the Division 1. And that's probably why they went to something like specializations. But for me, specializations are so underutilized, so underpowered. We are getting a spec revamp. That could change it all, but as of right now, we don't have that. And I don't think it works particularly well in the game right now. Okay, the other thing I dislike is the lack of game modes. Obviously, we have got one, and we are due to be getting more. But for right now, there's only one. And that's it. So, at the moment, lack of game modes. What I will put in the part that I do like, Countdown, right? I think Countdown is a great game mode. I think there's a lot that they can do with it. I think they can expand on it a lot. I think it is kind of... for me, it's kind of like the skeleton of something bigger. And I feel like in the future they may expand on it a lot. So that's also good. I'm going to leave it there, guys, because this is going to be the longest video of all time if I carry on with this. But, there are a lot of things I like about the Division 2. There are a lot of things I don't like about the Division 2. Obviously, I could make a much bigger list than this if I sat down and really, really thought about it. But just off the top of my head, the things I really like: live in open world, PVE, Countdown. I'll put variety of items. In terms of like your exotics, your gear, your weapons, all of that stuff. There's a good variety there. Yeah, sure, it's not all balanced, and there's some stuff that needs some help. But you're always going to get that in looter shooter games. I feel like there's more variety in the Division 2 than there is in the Division 1. For me, there are more possibly memorable weapons in the Division 1, like for example with Big Alejandro, the house. But I do like the way they dealt with exotics in the Division 2. I do like the fact that exotics are almost for a certain playstyle rather than just being the best weapon in the game, which is how they worked basically in the Division 1. So, yeah, let's move on. Let's see if there's anything else. Okay, what initially attracted you to play Tom Clancy's The Division? Please select 3. Let's have a look here. So, PvP dimension, no. Realistic military setting, possibly because friends are playing it, no. Endgame content season system, no. Storyline, yeah. For Tom Clancy's universe, no. That's not really what made me want to play it initially. For the collect and improve your character dimension, absolutely. It's a looter shooter, and that is always going to draw me in. Because it seems easy to understand. Combat dimension, I'm a fan of the Division franchise. Of course. So this is based on the Division 2, so I'm going to go with that one. For the graphics, I'm a fan of looter shooters. I can select up to 3. Can I not select more then? I'm going to pick a few more here. Realistic setting. I do like the storyline. I like the whole storyline. I think the story is getting better, but I do like how the story is. endgame content season system. I don't particularly think the season system is that strong. I feel that there needs to be a lot more to it. If you compare it to other seasons, Destiny 2, for example, I know they got a bigger budget. I know they're a bigger studio. But if we're comparing the two, there really isn't much of a comparison between what the Division 2 season offers compared to Destiny 2. Destiny 2 just has a lot more. Combat dimension I do like as well. And graphics. I think the graphics do look great. But it's not the reason why I would pick the game, if that makes sense. But they are great. It's kind of one of those things. Oh, I can't pick more than 3. Okay, well, let's get rid of the graphics. Get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Let's just go for these 3. For me, the fact that it's a looter shoot is always going to draw me in. Among the following reasons, which ones best explain why you stopped playing Tom Clancy's Division? Well, I haven't. But if I had to stop, what would be the reason? So I feel like I completed everything that interested me in the game. Overwhelmed by the number of activities. I understand some gameplay, my question in the game. I play other games, don't have time to continue. I face technical issues. Not for me personally, but I know a lot of people will click this one. The game is too difficult. I do not like the gameplay. I'm interested in the new content. I do not have my friends to play with. Okay. So if I had to stop, it would be lack of content. That's always going to stop me playing a game. It lacks ultimate reward for which to strive. I can see that one for sure. And I feel like I completed everything that interested me. Let's go with those 3. That's probably what I would pick out of those 3. Are you aware of the release? Yes. How did you hear about the release of Season 9? YouTubers, our friends, email, Reddit, Ubisoft channels, social media. Yeah, let's just go with that. Knowing about Season 9, what prevented you to re-engage with the Division 2? I was already engaged. I feel like this questionnaire is for someone that actually stopped playing. Okay, well, let's get rid of this one. And let's get rid of this one. Do you intend to play the game? Yes. Okay, let's go with that one because, of course, I am playing now and I will definitely be playing the new season. What content do you want to see the most in the future? Interesting. Let's see what they got here. New strongholds, new side missions, new areas to explore, new manhunts, more story, new PVE game mode, new seasonal events. Not that concerned about raids or Dark Zone stuff personally. Don't really care about that. Main missions might be nice. Classified assignments, no. Gear, weapons, RPG mechanics. More challenging content, not really for me, but for some people that's quite important. Let's go with those. Will it let me pick more than that? No. I've got to do 3 again. Okay. So, strongholds aren't important to me. New manhunts, definitely. I definitely want... Oh, it's hard to pick 3. New main missions. Okay. New manhunts, new PVE game mode, new gear and weapons. Okay, let's go with those 3. Have you heard the Division Heartland? I have. Let's go with that one. Division Heartlands, third person, etc. Survival action set in the Division officers. A streamlined approach to survival where you scavenge alone. You take increasing risks to your combat, deadly, dynamic. After reading the description on a scale of 1 to 5, how would you be interested in Heartland? Yeah, I'm definitely interested in Heartland. What country do you live in? The UK. How would you describe yourself? Male. How old are you? 33. Which game mode genres do you play on computer or console? I sometimes play MMOs. I used to play shooters. And strategy, party games, racing, narrative, adventure, music, interactive toys, construction, MOBA, role-playing games. Yeah, I kind of play role RPGs. Yeah, let's go with these. Let's go with open world action adventure. I'm on the following list. Please select the games that you've played in the last 6 months. Okay. I haven't played that much really. Black Ops no, I didn't play that. Warzone, nope. Uncharted, Destiny 2, Fortnite. Yeah, let's go with those. Thank you for can you stop the survey over 15 minutes? You can add some additional questions that will help us. Alright, let's go on then. Alright guys, well, I'm going to stop the video here because I think I've got everything that I needed to get here, but nothing really here too revealing, but I think it's important that we fill out these surveys because it will help push the direction of future seasons. It's interesting that they talked about Heartland. I think they're trying to gauge what the overall consensus is around that. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think I'm looking forward to the future of this game, and hopefully you enjoyed this one. Drop a like down below. Leave your comments down below as well. I do read them even if I don't respond. And until the next one, epic out.